Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's Inspiring Leadership podcast, hosted by Leigh Bowman-Perks, my wife, and myself, Jonathan Bowman-Perks. And it's a very special one. This one is with a theme of the Gulf Cooperation Council. We're bringing in Bahrain and the UAE. We've got backgrounds in Iran. There's a lovely cross-section of experiences, which is what the event we're talking about, Ride for Unity, 7 Emirates in 7 days, that the four of us are all going to be involved in, is all about. We have a fascinating couple of guests here, and also a guest who couldn't come. Firstly, I just wanted to introduce Faisal Al Nuaimi. Faisal has a wealth of experience in 19 years in senior roles across the public and the private sector in the UAE. He's got a fabulous job. He's currently the general manager of Ferrari World Yas Island in Abu Dhabi. And he's got such a wealth of experience. And particularly, he's been CEO, he's been executive director in sales and marketing in his home state of Ajman. It's just great having you here, Faisal. Welcome.
Thank you, Jonathan, for inviting me, and can't wait to tell you
I'm looking forward to some of your stories and experiences. Before we go into Sarah, we've got, unfortunately, our third guest, Fatima Rayad, is not able to attend because of her passion for basketball. She was the first female basketball coach for a men's team in the Bahraini National League. She's part of the first Bahraini national swimming team. She held a black belt in Taekwondo, and she's an official in the Bahraini General Sports Authority. And for her, like for all of the people who are here, breaking down barriers in sport and business, and she is an icon for women leadership everywhere. Then we have royal blood here. We have Sheikha Sareh Ameri. Sarah's got such a range of experiences. She's been involved in many different businesses. Particularly, she has her own business involved with women and small spice farmers worldwide. And now she's the managing director of this initiative that we're all involved in, 7 days, 7 Emirates, cycling through these 7 Emirates for unity, which we're going to be talking about that. And she wants to make a whole drive around what matters to her about the values of sustainability, unity, inclusion, which matters to the UAE as well, leaving an inspirational legacy of positive global change. So without further ado, I'll hand over. Sarah, welcome. Sorry, just to say hi. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much. It's my privilege to be here.
That's great. So Leigh, would you start us off?
So, first of all, I just really, you're both have this wonderful portfolio career and background, this tapestry of experience behind you. So I'm really curious about, all of those different experiences. What led you to kind of being the leader that you are today? What shaped you? What defined you? So maybe some of the highs and the lows as well, because I think with leadership, it brings so much reward, but also it can be tough and challenging. So just a little bit from each of you. And Sarah, of course, you are the managing director of the 7 Emirates, 7 days Ride for Unity, but it's just one of your many roles, one of your many hats. And you've received some honors along the way. So, and we've got some mutual passions, which is glorious. I'm looking forward to learning more about that. But with that dedication, what shaped you as a leader today?
I think I would say that the beginning was when I was a student at the American University in Dubai. And I took the role of being president of a charity club on campus with the students, with the involvement of professors and staff. And that was really my very first role as a leader for a group of different individuals, younger generations, mix really with the older generations. And I learned a lot. It was quite challenging, but I was very lucky to get a lot of information, a lot of guidance, mentoring through that 2 years of the role that I had as the president. And I met with, of course, with the leader of UAE, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid. Because of that role, I met with the former president of United States, President Clinton. And all these really was an incredible learning curve for the person I am today. And these are all go back to 2007, 8, 9, 10. And yeah, I learned a lot. That was, I would say, the beginning of being on this path of leadership.
Okay. And it sounds to me like you really embraced the role of leader very early, and you continue to leave a beautiful legacy. And speaking of legacies and the people that you've met, what did you learn from them? That's, clearly former President Clinton. So just tell me a little bit more about that.
What I learned from these leaders, I mean, one of the key moments that I remember from those times that I spoke to former President Clinton, to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed, how much they are present at the time, that they are really looking at my eyes, they really listening to me. And being in that moment, not occupied with their mobiles or looking around, because obviously the place I was is surrounded with people, even cameras and so on. But they were that's what I remember clearly, that they were there, present and clearly listening to every word that I was saying. And that was, I would say, number one lesson for me as a leader, to listen and answer according to the questions or the comment on the words that's coming out.
That's so special. And I remember leaders in my lifetime, actually, that have given me that just their very presence, their connection to me. It's like they see through to you. And it's there's an expression, Jonathan, you'll probably be able to help me with this, but people may not remember what you say, they may not remember what you do, but they certainly remember how they make you feel. So and certainly they had an impact with you, which has been lifelong. Thank you, Sarah. And Faisal, again, you've been instrumental in cultural and tourism transformation and infrastructure across the UAE. The free trade zones, a huge amount in your portfolio as well, and the impact that you've had in the work that you do. And now kind of clearly general manager at the turbocharged Ferrari World Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, which I've never been to, but I've got it on my bucket list of places to go because I've looked it up and it looks hugely inspiring. But again, what shaped you into the leader that you are today?
First of all, thank you for inviting me for this podcast today. I've never been in a podcast before, but I've been in the media so many times. So I'm familiar with how to deal with media, but not with Jonathan and Leigh today, because it's more of a wider
topic. Watch out.
So actually, I define leadership in a different way. There's a question that has been asked before so many times, being a mentor for a couple of students. Is the person born like a leader, or does the life that he's surrounded with shaping him or her to be a leader? Actually, it's both. It's a genetic thing. You are born with genes that to be a leader, but you need to work for it, to shape how do you want to be a leader in the community. So I believe I have these genes, but the circumstances since I was born until I'm today has shaped my skills to be who I am today. One of the things that I believe to be a successful leader in the community and to contribute to the community is to grab opportunities. Never say no when you can, and learn how to say no if you can't, but learn how to do it and come back. There are so many people burned out very, very early in their ages because they keep saying yes, 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 while they don't know how to do it and they fail. And once they fail, they give up and don't come back. So it's a technique that you need to take the opportunities, take the chances in life, learn. If you fell down, get up, learn how to do it, and listen to others. It's very important. Like, listen more than you talk. When we do this, we learn more than others, because they think when you control the meeting and give a long speech, you are the leader of the space. It's not. Actually, when you, as you said, the definition of how to keep impacting people, it's the way you keep the impression on them afterwards. Yes, he has been with us for 1 year, but his impact in this space worth like 10 years of work. So this is my belief in leadership, and this is what should be. So many challenges, yes. So many stories, yes. How many sad stories have we been through? So many. We are humans by the end of the day. We might look happy, we might smile, but there is something forced you to be the person you are today.
Yeah, beautiful. And that requires humility and courage on so many different levels. Thank you so much, Faisal. Jonathan.
Well, just for those who are listening in different parts of the world and not watching on YouTube, it's available on YouTube as well. I'd just like to describe some of the things you might see on screen, what you would have missed on screen. Firstly, the ladies are looking incredibly elegant and dressed very beautifully. And then we've got the two gentlemen, myself and Faisal. Faisal is sitting on the most beautiful, ornate Louis XIV sofa with curves and gold, and an amazing picture of his horse behind, which we're going to hear in a minute. I'm just going to ask him about that. And I am wearing an item of clothing from the UAE, from Sheikh Talib bin Sakir Al Qasibi, the Major General, who was at Sandhurst with me 43 years ago. We met recently, and we're hoping that during our trip through Ras Al Khaimah, his emirate, we're going to get to meet him, which would be fantastic to catch up with him. Maybe even get him to come down, see us as we cycle off. Maybe he might even join us on the beginning bit of the cycle ride. I don't know. He's such a character and such a great guy. But Faisal, tell us about this wonderful sofa and your beautiful horse.
Well, for those who doesn't know me, I'm a very classical person. I'm into classics, into antiques. I love collecting antiques. I have so many things from all over the world. Whenever I travel, I get something, I put it in my cupboard, dates, time, where did they get it from, who is the seller, who is the buyer. So it keeps me connected with the whole world, with good memories. Like, I've been there, I have seen this. And also, sometimes little things in life, which doesn't really have to be expensive, yet it means a lot to you. It makes you happy when you are down. So coming back to the chair, as I told you, I'm into classics. It's a modern home, yes, but everything is classical around me. It keeps me down to earth. And even though when I invite people to my house, I say, you know what, I've missed this atmosphere. Wherever we go now, everything is modern, everything is classy, but it's still. So this is the way I look to life. I want to feel happy wherever I go. Horses, I always say, horses make me happy. You don't. So when I see the horses, you feel the power, you feel the connection, you feel the nature. They never pretend to be happy if they are not. And when they are happy, it shows in their body language and the way they greet you, the way they even smile, by the way. They cry. So sometimes I feel horses are much better than humans nowadays because they don't pretend to be something else.
Yeah.
Very simple thing, yeah.
Yeah, that's very interesting. And I was watching that program about the horse whisperer who goes up and he just rests his head against the muzzle of the horse and just breathes and gets the horse and he in sync. And I've been trying that out during the night with our puppy dog who's outside, who's a year and a half old. She's a working Cocker Spaniel. And she gets very nervous at night in her little crate in our bedroom. We do spoil her and the other dog as well, Archie, who's with Leigh now. But I just open her cage and I lie down next to her and I just start, this is at 3 a.m. when she's been barking because she's scared. I just start to breathe very gently through my nose into hers and she just calms down. Then she just goes to sleep. So
and he goes back to bed and he goes, I think I'm the dog whisperer. Yes, dear.
yeah. It's a real skill. I should give up coaching and podcasting and become a dog whisperer.
Show coming on, the dog whisperer.
The dog whisperer. Now, our backgrounds are always very interesting to me. I'd love to ask Sarah first and then Faisal about your sort of your upbringing, where you were born, how it shaped you. Now, I've been listening to a fantastic program, and Leigh has too. She introduced me to it, a podcast called Empires. And it's been talking about the Persian Empire and how far it goes back and just how it shaped the whole world with its history and the places in it and the culture, which has influenced everything, particularly thus spoke Zarathustra. So I'm interested in all this kind of background. And Sarah, just tell us a little bit about how you grew up, where you grew up and how that's influenced you before you came to the UAE. and then we'll talk about to Faisal.
Sure. So I was born in Iran, in south of Iran, in the city of Ahvaz. So that's where my father's side of family, they lived there for, I would say, generations, many generations. Our family tree go back to 800 years.
Wow.
And this is the Arabic part of Iran. So my father is Arab by ethnicity. And the reason I use the word, before my name, I use Sheikha because all my grandfathers from my father's side, they all had the title of Sheikh for them. And if you go to my city, Ahvaz, you will see, after my last name, you will see bazaars, mosques, areas, that is after our name. My great grandfather's name is on the streets as a street name. Still, unfortunately, they have not, the current ruling of the Iran is they did not remove that. So I grew up in that region. I went to the school, high school, and then for university, I left and I went to Tehran, to the capital of Iran, and I studied art. And then from there, I left Iran. I lived in Europe. So I lived in the UK, I lived in Holland, I lived in Norway, and I was studying again design. I was dancing, modern dance, and then I moved to Dubai in 2006, where I started my education in architecture, interior architecture at the American University in Dubai. 4 years of studies. That's where I would say from a child, being in a bubble, living in Iran, back in the days, I'm talking, I left Iran 2001, so 20 odd years ago. And I lived really protected in a bubble, protected by my parents. Even when I went to university, I was still living at home. And then I kind of discovered the world when I came to Dubai, and I started traveling. I visited more than 50 countries. I discovered my passion for charity, to giving back to people through many projects. Maybe we can talk about it later. And then, yeah, I lived. Dubai is now my home. I can't imagine myself. I got married here. I have 2 children who go to school. They were born also in Dubai. So this is my home now.
Fantastic. Well, what a great story. There's so much in there. And I know Leigh will probably like to ask some more questions later on, particularly around all the different things you do. Thank you for that. Faisal, where were you born and what shaped you as you grew up and your parents and that kind of story? It'd be fascinating to hear.
You said my name is Faisal Al Nuaimi. This is the way you say it. I'm almost 47 years old now. I was born in Dubai, 1977. I've completed most of my education in the country. I've joined the army back in 1993, where I did my first higher degree in the army, yet I was a soldier. I ended up in the Marine.
All right.
For 5 years, and then I moved to the city, the civilization is in Etisalat, which was the only telecommunication company at this time. Do was not exist yet. It was my first school of life ever after the army. I learned the discipline, how to be patient, how to listen to orders, how to obey orders, how to obey rules, all the things. But the actual real life experience was Etisalat. Proudly, I was a member of it. And then I moved, and during my life in Etisalat, I had to do my second degree, which I completed my degree in High Colleges of Technology in Sharjah. Graduated with the e-commerce distinction with honor. I was also lucky to receive the last award from His Highness Sheikh Zayed bin Sultan Al Nahyan as a distinction with honor before he passed away. So I was one of the last group who received this gift, which is a golden medal, wow. Very precious. I still have it until today. And then I moved from Etisalat to Emirates Post Group. I was there as a sales and marketing director before I moved to Ministry of Economy, and then all the way to Culture and Tourism and Ajman as a Deputy General Manager. And then I became the General Manager of Ajman Tourism Department for 8 years, 2012 till 2018. And then I became the Executive Director of Sales and Marketing, Ajman Free Zone, and CEO of Marsa Properties. Shaped the tourism industry in Ajman very well before I was hunted to be General Manager of Qasr Watan, the Presidential Palace, for 5 years, 2019 till 2023. And recently I have been asked to join Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, the flagship of Abu Dhabi, the world-leading theme park, proudly being part of it, being in charge of this. And easily, this is my whole life in less than 2 minutes.
Wow. What a life. I mean, and there's so much life in you, I can tell. This is why
it's roller coaster, right?
Yeah. But it's really great to have you as part of the 7 days in 7 Emirates and Ride for Unity. And Leigh's going to ask a few questions to you both about that. So Leigh, over to you.
Well, just it kind of feels like everything that you've been, all of those wonderful experiences have led you to the amazing theme park that you're working at today, Faisal. So I'd like to know a little bit more about where you're working and that organization, because I did not know about this, shame on me, until I started to explore the work you did. And it looks phenomenal, but also to kind of take that back to, as you get up in the morning and as you go out to work, you're clearly passionate about it. You're wearing your Ferrari gear in order to celebrate it. But how does that work give you meaning and purpose? But tell us a little bit about what it is to that organization.
Well, Ferrari World, as you know, Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, it is located in Yas Island. It is part of Miral Asset Management Group. They manage it. So I'm purely the general manager of this place. I manage it the way that Miral wants me to manage it for the whole world. Very brief.
Okay. And how does it give you meaning and purpose? How do you, the work that you do today, of which I think that's just one component, but how do you find meaning and purpose in your life?
Well, one of the things I love in life overall, regardless what I do, is I love making people happy. I love supporting others. And you will never find a place better than where I work to make people happy and leaving with a big smile. So wherever there is a chance for me to make people happy, I always jump in and I support as much as I can. One of the examples is Sarah. She's here and she's listening. She gave me a call out of nothing. Faisal, your name was given to me and I want your help. I didn't hesitate. Let's come and meet. We met. And since we met, there are so many things happened between me and her. Immediately, the support is given. If I can support, if I can make people happy, this is my passion. So my passion towards what I work now is to make 7,000 people every day happy, leaving with a smile, with a memory to tell people around the world, like, I have been there, I was happy, and I recommend you to go back.
Yeah. And that level of joy, the experience, the happiness that people will go through, like, I think we can all look back in our lives and think about those almost like life-changing experiences or the things that just brought absolute joy to our lives. To be instrumental in helping to make that happen, it must feel a very proud time for you as well. So thank you, Faisal. I look forward to visiting in the future. And Sarah, the work that you do for charity, for others, myself and Jonathan and all the research that we've done, the final component of the Inspiring Leadership Compass, there's 8 components, 8 principles, but the final component talks about legacy and stewardship and the impact that we're making, because actually what's it all for at the end? Why are we here? Why do we exist? And your existence helps to change the lives of others for the better. So I'd love to explore, what is the work that you do and why does that give you meaning and purpose?
Oh my God. Is it? I mean, meaning and purpose, of why I'm doing something. It's for my family, for sure. But the legacy, can I talk about the legacy?
Yeah, of course.
So the legacy, I would say it's what is still like, it's still ongoing. So when I look back of the things I've done until today, for example, I just give you an example. I visited my university, the American University, which I graduated 2010. So it's almost 13 years ago. And I was there about 2 weeks ago for a meeting because, as you know, with 7 days, 7 Emirates, that's one of the locations that we will visit. And we have event there. And I would say I was quite surprised for people who are still working after all these years to remember me, to come and shake my hands. And that's because of all the work that I did back in the days. And through the projects, for example, we had the English lessons for the blue-collar laborers in Dubai, which still ongoing at the university. A seat that we set back in the days, I would say 15, 16 years ago, still going. The school that's together with the professors, we went and built in Cameroon, in West Africa, a primary school that's still there. I'm sure if I go back and visit, they still remember me. All of these, I would say, it's a legacy that I'm leaving behind. The women empowerment, for example, with the Soroptimist International, is a chapter which I set up as the first chapter in the Middle East in Dubai back in 2015. I'm not much involved with the chapter anymore, but I did found it, and people are still running it. They are empowering women continuously. So that's also another legacy that I left behind. And with 7 days, 7 Emirates that we are working on, I'm hoping that it will go. It's not a one-off event. It will go on. If I'm involved, it's great for the future. If I'm not, I hope that it will leave the impact and it will continuously make a difference in the lives of people and make the world a bit better place. All these things for me is to leave the world a better place than it was before me.
Yeah. What is so wonderful as well is you see the importance of actually building and shaping things that unites cultures, that unites people, that has an impact, makes difference. But also you think about legacy in terms of the people that you bring through, the future stewards, and how you develop and grow and hand over the amazing things that you build, but you hand over that legacy for others to actually drive through as future generations. It's really very special. Congratulations on all of the work.
And I'm going to really pick up that theme, Sarah, and then go to Faisal about, this is the first Ride for Unity big event. Seven Emirates, we're cycling through 7 Emirates in 7 days. What's it all about? And then I'm going to ask Faisal, how he got drawn in to contribute his amazing skills and connections. But Sarah, firstly for you, what is it all about? For people listening, they won't know anything about Ride for Unity and what we're trying to achieve. Just take a bit of time to tell us a bit about it.
Sure. So one of the initiatives of Ride for Unity is called, and it's the first one of its kind, and it was born in the United Arab Emirates. It's called 7 Days, 7 Emirates, Cycling for Unity. It's a group of experienced cyclists. I don't want to use the word amateur, experienced cyclists who is coming together from different countries, from the UK, from Bahrain, Saudi, US, and within our beautiful United Arab Emirates. We are coming together, a small group of people we are trying. It's cycling, of course, is the main aspect, the sport bringing us all together. But the main purpose to promote the UAE values for sustainability, for inclusion, for diversity, for unity, for tolerance. Something that living in UAE for the past 17 years, this country is really pioneers. They are the leaders for setting up these amazing roles for the rest of the world to follow, I would say. And where is the better place than this country to start such a great initiative with amazing people like yourself, like Faisal and Daniel and everybody who's going to be here to do this right. The ride will start with an opening event in Dubai. We will talk about it maybe later. Be trying to organize a panel discussion around sustainability. That's one of the pillars. We will start next day in Fujairah with a very, very long cycling. So good luck to that, because it's going to be more than 100 kilometers on the first day in the mountains. We will have a stopover in a coral reconstruction dive center, and with a workshop, and hopefully some of us who have the PADI open water license, we will go diving and do some work. And then we continue to Ras Al Khaimah, the Emirates of Ras Al Khaimah. We have another panel discussion, keynote speech with at the American University in Ras Al Khaimah, together in partnership with Department of Economic Development in Iraq. And we have also amazing interactive sessions with many different stations at Wellspring School in Ras Al Khaimah. The age groups are from age like KG or foundation stage until graduation of high school, the students. And we have different stations with leadership programs run with some of our cyclists. We have a station where Jessica Smith, one of our cyclists, she's a Paralympic swimmer for Australia. She lives in Dubai. She will be reading her book about a girl named Jess, who was born without the left arm, to the children. And then we have Justin Levine. He will be talking about, or showing about his, how do I say it? The achievement on a wheelchair, going across America, championing in Abu Dhabi for the Jiu-Jitsu World Championship, which was very, very recent at the beginning of November. And then we have Herb, who is a basketball player from US. Yeah. And he will be also showing off, not showing off, but showing some of his techniques in basketball. Yeah, exactly. To the students. And we will have rides. We have so much happening at Wellspring. From there, we will go to Al Ghawain, where we're hoping to do some, again, and touching on sustainability. So planting mangroves, which is a lot of mangroves plantations happening in this country and supported by the government. And then from there, we will go to Ajman, where we meet with a charity school there called National Charity School of Ajman. And we are hoping that Faisal and Fatma will have some session with the students, the older students who are the age from, I would say, 12 to 13. They will have some sessions, interactive sessions about sport. And then outside in the courtyard, there will be competition with the younger children, football and basketball on the separate spaces. And because they have 1,200 students, it's going to be a challenge, but we are hoping that it's going to go well. And the most important, that children are going to have a lot of fun on that day. And we are spending like about 5 hours at that school. And then from Ajman, we are planning to go to Sharjah. We will have, we will visit a beautiful location called the House of Wisdom. It's part of the Shuruk. It's again also a governmental body in Emirates of Sharjah. We will have a tour of this place, and we will have, I believe it's you and Leigh who are going to give a presentation and a workshop to the management, the senior management of Shuruk. From there in Dubai, we have an absolute full program with a visit to the American University in Dubai, where we have a keynote speeches and panel discussion, followed by, again, full activities with the new students who are joining the university at the cycling track on the campus. And good interaction with the students. From their cycling all the way to the Kite Beach, which is one of the attractions in Dubai. On the beach, there is a beautiful cycling track in collaboration with the Children of Determination, who will be cycling, some of them with us, and those of them who it's difficult for them to be on the bikes, we will be walking with them about 1 kilometer before we all come together and have some fun activities for the children. And then you guys are off to the Al Qudra cycling track to have a night cycling because, you know, the rest of the day was not enough activities, so we added that. And we end our amazing 7 days, 7 Emirates in the capital of the United Arab Emirates in Abu Dhabi with a visit to the Abrahamic family house and cycling at Al Khudairat, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, island. We have some also cycling within the city of Abu Dhabi. Maybe we will be visiting the Ferrari World, hopefully. I'm not sure. We are still planning that part. Yeah, that is
Wow.
Yeah, it's sorry if talking so long, but this
No,
is
it's fascinating. It's fascinating. We're gonna have a great time. Which thank you for that, because it gives the breadth of experiences in the country, the kind of things the country is doing, why Ride for Unity is pulling all these themes together about sustainability, inclusion, tolerance, unity. I do love the terminology, people of determination. Now, we've got people who've got, like Jess, she has no left arm, but she's an amazing Olympian swimmer. We interviewed Justin Levine, who had this terrible accident when he was 21 and hospital negligence, which meant he can't use his legs. So he's got this incredible upper torso where he's in his bike and he's done all these events. And then we've all found, you know, we know different people who've been born with challenges which need determination to overcome them. And Justin said to us, don't describe us as disabled. In my wheelchair, I can go faster than you can on your bike. So it's the environment and it's our determination to overcome that. So I think the UAE is ahead of many other countries by using this healthy, positive language about including people of determination, because they're determined to find a way of working in an environment which is difficult for them. Over to you, Faisal. I mean, Faisal, how did Sarah manage to use her charm and persuasion to involve you in the Ride for Unity 7 Emirates in 7 days? And clearly in your home, different states, you've got lots to offer, but are you going to ride as well or join us for some bits? What's your plan?
First question, how did Sarah get into me? Sarah is a friend of a teacher, ex-teacher of mine. His name is Tim Marsh. He used to be an English teacher in Higher Colleges of Technology in Sharjah. That was back in 1999 till 2005. And I was into sport since ever. And Tim as well, into sports. She was talking to Tim and he told her, like, there's someone, he's gonna help you with everything you need. And he took my permission. Can I share your number? I said, yes, sure. And then she called me and then we started from there. Yeah. But back to Sarah's conversation, when I was the general manager of Ajman Tourism Development Department, I initiated an initiative similar to what Sarah is doing, but the name was 7 Cyclists. So it was only limited to 7 cyclists. cycling the UAE in 3 days. It was more challenging, not 7 days. It was only 3 days. And we had to do about 500 kilometers in 3 days.
Wow.
And the aim was it was hosted during the National Day, which is 30th of November till 3rd of December. And we started in each flagpole in each city. And we end up in another city in the same flagpole. And during our cycling tour, we stop at the most important attractions, either museums, any new attractions, and we promote it during our tour through social media. Whatever. It wasn't like very well managed as Sarah is doing now, because it was mainly like me doing this with 7 different nationalities. And we intend to have 7 different nationalities for a reason to tell them like, this country is a multicultural country.
Yes.
We welcome anyone, and everyone has to have their input in this. So it was really successful. I do have the know-how somehow to support Sarah, and I think I have been helpful so far, Sarah.
Absolutely. I mean, can I say that Faisal is a legend? Like,
yeah.
If I WhatsApp him, it's like within 1 minute I get a reply. It's unbelievable. So I want to say thank you, Faisal. You've been an amazing supporter for 7 Days, 7 Emirates. And we all appreciate you, and you are part of the core team. And yeah, thank you so much for all your support.
No problem. That's
fantastic.
And as I said at the beginning, giving is a joy for me. So as much as you ask, the much joy I get. So back to the second part of the question, Jonathan, why did I approve other than happy supporting others? The good thing about this initiative, which is also different than others, it doesn't only focus on one subject. It has 5 subjects. If you look around, most of the CSR initiatives, it's always one title. It's either unity or diversity or inclusion. But what Sarah has managed to do is to include 5 subjects in one event, including so many people from all over the world, and to do something they all love, which is sports. It doesn't have to be cycling, but I'm a runner, I'm a swimmer, I'm a diver, I'm a cyclist by core. I love cycling. I'm into it. So it's a good chance for me to spend a couple of days cycling again. And the good thing about Sarah now, she's keep adding more cycling because she is not cycling with us. She doesn't know how does it feel when you do 100 kilometers a day and tomorrow you have to do the same amount again. But we will get you into the bike, Sarah, and we'll push you to the limits.
Thank you. That's amazing.
Yeah, well, it's Leigh is quite wisely, because she's not a cyclist. She's going to do guest appearances on a couple of the more pleasant ones.
That's
myself,
more for your benefit than mine, by the way. I'm just thinking about the team there. Okay,
doing it for the team. And I recently cycled 500 kilometers in north of France between various battlefields for the veterans, Help for Heroes, people who'd lost limbs from various different wars they'd been in, to raise about £7,000. And that was great, but I did find it hard because I'm not a cyclist and I'd only trained about 7 weeks beforehand. So for this one, particularly since I'm seeing a cardiologist when I come back, because I think I've overdone it with the heart, I'm going to be taking it a little easy. Otherwise, I'd love to do the whole lot. But I'm just going to pick certain ones that are more manageable, so that I don't get a real telling off from the cardiologist when he comes back and examines me and said, "You've done what? You've cycled 7 Emirates in 7 days and you want to come and get your heart repaired? What are you talking about?" Anyway, enough of me. Leigh, what question would you like to ask our 2 guests?
Yeah, I do want to be bringing you back home with me. I love you, and I want to make sure I have many years with you. So we need to manage that one. I suppose all of this is pointing to fitness and health and well-being and resilience. And actually, when we think about development and growth, quite often we think about it from kind of the shoulders up, the neck up. But actually, the top performers, not just athletes, but in organizations, understand the direct correlation between personal health and well-being. And Faisal, as you said earlier, that understanding, appreciating the times when you need to say yes, but also say no. So really looking after that physical and mental and emotional health in order to really succeed. So Faisal, if I come to you first of all, what do you do to look after yourself and sustain that wonderful performance that I'm really very envious of? So I need all the tips, please, that you can give to me.
I didn't hear the question.
What do you do? Can you hear me okay?
I can't hear you.
What do you do to sustain that high performance?
Yeah, now it's okay. Can you repeat the question, please?
I can indeed. What do you do to sustain that high performance and resilience? Did you hear that okay?
We're just checking. Faisal, can you hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah.
I can hear you.
I can hear you, but the screen is freezed.
Okay. Okay.
Sarah, shall we come over to you first?
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Okay. So Faisal, we were just talking about actually the importance of looking after your fitness and your health to be successful in life and work and relationships, to really embrace life. So I just wondered how you look after your mental, physical, emotional well-being to sustain this wonderful performance that you're achieving today.
Well, first of all, my 2 hours of exercise daily basis is essential.
Wow.
I cannot skip these 2 hours. So, hello?
Yep, we can just hear you, Faisal.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you were talking about doing 2 hours of fitness training.
Can I turn, because the screen is freezed with everyone.
You want to go out and come back in?
Yeah, we'll just pause. All right. Yeah, can you hear us now?
I will leave. I will leave. Yeah. Okay. I will. But the screen is not open. Good. So fitness for me is essential. I have 2 religious hours for me, which is the first 2 hours of the day after my actual prayers. I cannot skip them. Either cycle, running, gym, or swimming. For me, sports is kind of a therapy where I let go all the negative thoughts from the day before, or I get myself energized for the day ahead. I let go all the anger and everything that's negative in my life, just I let them go in these 2 hours. And if I miss them for any reason, I have to be honest, it's a bad day for me and bad day for people around me as well. So this is the main motive for me. Plus, I need to be a role model for others, not only my kids or my family, but even my colleagues. When I advise people about I need to be healthy, if I'm not healthy, I can't convince them, right? So I have a really good influence on my family when they see me active, being fit, being, I wouldn't say athlete, but at least being healthy. They always listen, even though if they find it hard to cope with me somehow, but at least they try because they have a role model around them. The best investment in people's life is in your health. You might work for 50, 60 years, but at the end of the day, you will be alone at one day. Your kids will leave home, they will have their own life, their own families, and no one will be around you. So you want to be healthy when you are by yourself. You want to take care of yourself. If you didn't take care of yourself while you are young, I think you will be neglected when you are old. Again, we don't demand people to be around us for the whole life, but again, they need to keep going on, and we need to take care of ourselves. So I invest in my health. I invest in myself, and in this way. And you know what? When you are healthier, you get rich. The money finds its way to you. But when you are not, then you will start spending your time, your money on medications, visiting doctors, wasting your time here and there. It's not me. So I would rather put like 1,000 per month in a gym or training suits or a nice bike rather than giving them to the doctors and medications. And there is always a good quote I always hear. If you don't take care of what you eat today, you will eat your medicine as your food when you're old. So I don't want to do this. I want to eat healthy today, and in the future, I will keep eating what I love, but in a good portion. There's so many people when they get angry, the first thing they do, they jump to the first fast food restaurant and they eat everything they can because this is the only way to let the anger go. I do the other side. When I get angry, I put in my running shoes and run 10K and I'm good. I forget everything. Or going with Sarah on a nice trip like this for 7 days, right in the UAE. And after 7 days, I'm totally fresh, totally clean mind, going back to work, giving all what I can just to keep life going.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
It's those wonderful daily habits that you've put in place rather than and not going down the route of self-soothing, which so many people do these days, whether it's technology, whether it's chocolate, wine, all those kinds of. I think I might actually be listing all of the things I go to. Faisal, I need to take another leaf out of your book. Sorry. I digress. But you're absolutely right. It's that preventative. It's actually what you can do now to look after your health and well-being that helps you to show up today for all of those important relationships around you, and actually also in the long term, in the future, that puts a strain on our health systems and services, never mind on our own families. So that's superb. And Sarah, tell me a little bit about you. How do you stay healthy, fit, and resilient, managing a complete kind of diverse group of people from around the world and the complexity of everything that you're trying to do as the managing director of this even program at the moment? How do you look after yourself?
As I would like to second what Faisal said, that being a role model, and I have two young kids, and I would like to be a role model for them, especially what I eat. So healthy food is like number one priority in our house. My kids, they don't know, I will not mention the names, but they don't know certain fast foods, which majority of children around the world, they crave for that particular one, which you guys know, but which one I'm talking about. They don't even know the name. They don't know what it is. It was so important in my life, eating healthy, that it led me to start a startup called Armatai Spices, which is about, one part of it is about healthy, organic, sustainable sources of spices in our food. Spices are also a remedy or a natural medicine for our body to keep us young, healthy, in order away from the chemical medication. I will talk about Armatai maybe in another time. So food is very important. Meditation, I every day, it's a ritual for me that every morning I light a candle in front of the pictures of my grandparents who passed away. And I give a few minutes, just me and them, and I make prayers and connect to the ancestors. I think that is very, very important. And then sport. I love swimming and running. These are the two sports that I've been doing. Long distance running, I would say I've never done marathons, but I've done a few half marathons. And I really enjoy that. And swimming, at least 2 kilometers every other day in our pool.
Lovely, very nice. And I love what you say about actually it's what we teach to our children, that next generation as well, that we have an accountability, a responsibility for. And when I've been in the gym downstairs, we've got a homemade gym, and I've been in there. Our little granddaughter, who's just turning 3, but she comes in and she does her little exercises, and already, but it's learning good habits from a very, very young age too. Really important. Jonathan.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's just a fascinating topic, this whole theme about sports and fitness Clearly, the four of us love it. What Leigh hasn't explained is she has a personal trainer who is the United Kingdom's fittest man in 2020. He did the CrossFit and he's built like a house. His name is Zach George, and he's about to become one of the gladiators who appears on TV in the program Gladiators. He's such a gentleman. And so we're getting all the kit in the gym. And one of the things that Leigh can do is that machine it's called the squat sled, and you put weights on it and you push your legs up against the plate. She can just do phenomenal amounts, more than most of the men in the gym. So she's a bit of a dynamo in there. She doesn't admit
that'd be
that.
great for a James Bond movie, huh?
Yeah, it's
the leg crusher.
So yeah, fitness and sport, very important. It's the Ride for Unity is really bringing our love of sport together, which is so great, which comes across for Faisal and for you, Sarah. Faisal was mentioning about the importance of multicultural respect, about this whole idea of inclusion and tolerance, because in the UAE is it over 120 different nationalities of people who are there. It's phenomenal. And Faisal also talked about your 5 initiatives. Do you want to talk about the why you've chosen some of the things going on, Sarah, and what you're wishing to achieve with the Ride for Unity 7 Emirates 7 days? And it's lovely to see the connection with Faisal when you did 7 cyclists, 7 Emirates in 3 days, 500 kilometers. I did 500 kilometers in 5 days, and that was shattering. Those guys doing it in 3 days. Respect. But Sarah, yeah, tell us about the 5 initiatives.
So the 5 initiatives, as I mentioned earlier, so UAE is the pioneer. They are the leading country in achieving these goals in this country. We want to take this message across the world. We want to echo what UAE has achieved through these, as you said, over 120 nationality, ethnicity, living in peace in this country, working no problem. And this is what we want, the message that we want to show to the rest of the world. Maybe they can learn from, especially in these times, what's happening in the other countries. This is the most important message. So cycling, sport coming together is incredible, but the top message that we want to show to the rest of the world is how UAE achieving these goals in this country over the past 50 years. And through different sections that I mentioned that we will have, the different panel discussions, speeches in different Emirates, we will discuss these different, like tolerance, unity, inclusion. We will discuss them, and hopefully through the filming and the documentary that is going to come out, our message will go around the world. I hope that I answer.
You did beautifully, and Faisal, for you, having been in so many different roles in both public and private sector, these things must mean a lot to you as well. It's getting that message out about the different Emirates and what they can do for the world, and how to bring people in and make and enjoy these values, living them, experiencing them. It must be exciting for you to see what we're bringing in and the different aspects. What's it like for you?
Well, it's more important for me being a local, being a UAE national, who's ready always to support the government in their initiatives. I'm not sure if you are aware that every year the UAE government announces a year name or a year theme. So this year, for example, is the sustainable. Back in 2019, it was the year of tolerance. So it is not the government job only to promote and to do activities and events and activations to promote the theme, but it is us as citizens and locals and everyone who is living in this beautiful country and whoever made the UAE another home to be part of it. Yes, the year of tolerance was back in 2019, but tolerance is needed forever.
Yeah,
it's not only for 1 year. The UAE government initiated this back in 2019, but we need to keep going and spreading tolerance among each other. Inclusion, we have to be all united. If we want to take care of this big home, for the UAE, we all have to work as one family, one group, regardless religion, regardless gender, nationality, it doesn't matter. We are all here in one country. We want to take care of this beautiful home, take care of the landscapes. We have to do the gardening by ourselves. Again, we talk our own language. It doesn't have to be very complicated talking to people like sustainability and COP28. We know what does it mean as professionals. But when we go to the kids and tell them, look, you have a home, you built it. And if you didn't take care of this home, at one point it will fall down.
Yeah.
You need to take it further. You need to keep going. And these are the themes that we need you to always remember whenever you do something. Even when you're at school, you need to learn to be part of the community, to be a given method in the community when you graduate, when you grow up in the future. And when you go back home, you even teach your father and mother something that you learned from us today. There is also one important thing that I need to mention. Parents, mothers and fathers, they should learn from the kids. It's not only giving them what they know. No, they don't know everything. Believe me, sometimes when I sit with my little daughter, she's 18 years old, 17 years old now, I learn so many things from her I have never thought I would learn in my life.
Yes.
They are so advanced, they are so clever, they are so smart. Yes, she asked me for so many questions, and I answered, but believe me, I still find her a very good source of learning every day.
No,
so
it's
hopefully through the program that Sarah has created, talking to kids in the schools and universities, when they go back to their families, they will spread the knowledge.
Fantastic. Well, in a moment, I'm going to ask each of you for to introduce yourself, say who you are, where you're from, and what your 1 minute top tip is. Just 1 minute. So 1 minute each makes 2 minutes. But before I do that, Leigh, any final questions you have for these amazing guests from the UAE?
I just think, I suppose it's more an observation than a question, because I think the richness of your leadership really shines through your passion, your purpose, the legacy that you're embarking on or continue to embark on. It's just such an inspiration for so many. And in a world that needs inspiration right now, I have to say it's an absolute privilege meeting both of you. I cannot wait to meet you in person when we go over to the UAE, because everything you espouse, your character, your judgment, your ethos, is something to aspire to learn about, to grow into, and to continue to model. So I just wanted to appreciate you both for just being absolutely outstanding in your character and your ethos and the work that you do.
Fantastic. Thank you, Leigh. So we're down to the last bit before we finish the program. Sarah, would you go first? Just introduce, say your name, what the role you're doing on the project, and a little bit of your background, just a short little thumbnail. And then if there's a top tip that you've learned about leadership that you'd like others to learn from you, it was a good tip that you found it worked for you, that's fine. And then I'll pass across to Faisal. If you'd introduce yourself, say what you're doing now, and what your top leadership tip is. So Sarah, would you begin us off with your introduction?
Sure. My name is Sareh Ameri. I'm from Iran. I live in UAE since 2006. This is my home. And my education is I'm an interior designer, interior architecture. And my role at 7 Days, 7 Emirates, Right for Unity, is I'm the managing director. And one tip I would say as a leader, never shy away from learning. Every moment, learn. Don't be shy. Ask questions. Don't be proud. Try to learn as much as possible. We have a saying in a poet in Iran says, from the birth until the grave, never stop learning. It's one of the ancient poets. And also be compassionate. That is one of the elements in a leader that will differentiate that person from others and will give possibilities and bring people to that person. So be compassionate.
Fantastic. Thank you. And Faisal, would you introduce yourself and tell us what you do and what your top tip is?
My name is Faisal Al Nuaimi. I'm a UAE national, 47 years old, father of three beautiful girls and boys. I love sports overall. My main sport is cycling and running. I love giving, and I advise everyone, if you think you are a leader, learn the art of giving, because the more you give, the more you're happy, the more people around you are happy.
That's a fantastic tip. Well, look, on behalf of Leigh and myself, thank you to you both for your contributions and what you're also going to be doing when we're all together in early January, going through the different 7 Emirates. It's going to be an amazing experience, a life-changing experience. But thank you for your contributions. It's been a joy having you on the podcast.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.